This is a matter of record, which I started out, all this has been. I started out 5, 6 years ago hoping to have a place that my children could find me and wherever they are. Um, but I wanted a record of at least some of what's happened to me. Now I'm going to focus on this because how can I pay doctor bills that they say I owe here? It's so ludicrous. Um, just like the FBI Noe said, 1984, 85, up in Grottoes, Virginia, with a hustler car paid for a year. So what's wrong with this? The lady's pumping gas. She's running a political campaign. She's written a book, even though it didn't get published. I was almost killed. I found out so I could go on and it's rambling if you don't piece it together, and I've tried to. I went to my doctor, and nothing against her. I mean, she was nice enough, and she's been my doctor for a long time, since about 2009, and I hope she remains my doctor. So she didn't, this is a lab corporation, and they've got me owing balance, and she has to have blood taken. The doctor does ever so often, or does, and they're the ones that um, she sends it to. Okay, it's Lab Corporation, and I'm not sure it's their fault, but I think I don't know if I called them, but I know that in the last, I've paid, well, I don't go there that often for blood tests, but they've got me owing, and when I went to the doctor the other day, the lab technician told me I should call here and correct this, or I guess they're not going to allow it to be charged because they say I'm not paying. Now, then, the other thing she told me to do was call United Healthcare. I don't know how she knew about this, and I didn't, other than I'm going to show you in a minute what has happened over the years. That I'm aware of very much. There's been uh, money paid to the post office in one of their postal envelopes that couldn't have been mistaken. I put it in the mail. They say they didn't get it, and they're back and forth. I sent them a copy of the I pay by money order. So you get into, I had to pay it twice, and I'm going to turn this on me and then turn it back on this. I have to pay these twice because when I go down to Kroger where they're sold, this is Western Union, it's not their fault. But they tell me to try to look up a $35 money order or whatever it is. They don't get really expensive, but it does when you have to pay them twice and you're me. They tell me that I would end up, if they pursued it and tried to find out who cashed it, it would cost me about as much as the money order. And I've gone more than once to them. Now then, it's kind of my understanding that and there's reasons for this, that they haven't been cashed. That's not the purpose. The purpose was it makes me pay the bill twice or three times. And when I put it in the mail, stamped, mailbox out front here, mailbox where I used to live, that's where the postal money order disappeared and had to pay it twice. And there was another one, a couple of others disappeared. And after I put them in the post office box, now then, where I'm living now, I have paid, and the box is right out front, you can see it. So I don't know where it's disappearing, but there's been about, the best I can write at the moment, I have to keep saying I'm tired because so much has been going on and done to me, for God's sake. There's been 3 that's gone missing, I think. I know there's at least 3. And when I go in, I mean, this is so ludicrous. Look at an empire who I am, Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II. They kidnapped me, and the crimes against me are so absurd and painful and sick, what they've done to me and my children. And then to make me pay them, which I've done to my ability. But they took all my money, and the agent Noe up there in Grottoes that was with my husband way back in 61, 62 at Brown Engineering in Huntsville. He's supposed to retire up there. Isn't that cute, in Grottoes? And he comes in and I pump his gas. He said they had made it, the FBI, so ludicrous everybody knew I was telling the truth. Gave him a chance to help her walk away. Well, what they've done, if you did a background check on me, it's not even my real name. And you would say, how do I pay a bill when I can't even eat? I'm paying cabs or LOA to drive me here and there. I don't pay LOA that much. They're the only rides I can get right now. But I do pay them. And some of these have disappeared. And LOA tells me there's a $22 one I'm going to show you. Because here's what I have to do. I have to pay twice. These aren't being taken because they're cashing them. It's to make me, this whole mess that's encompassed making my life a living hell. I have to pay it twice or 3 times and hope finally they get it. And then the others go unpaid, and I go in and I am sent nasty notes, nasty phone calls. Okay, now I'm going to get to this. I went in and see the doctor, and she gave me this, and she told me to call them. It's Lab Corporation. I think they're called Equa. I can't remember what was, but I've paid them. So here is, it's the Lab Corporation. Here are the vouchers from the money orders where I mailed it. You know, it's ridiculous. I don't buy these, stamp them, and put it in, and then they're taken and oh boy. Anyway, here is at least 2. I went back trying to dig up the ones that I had sent to Lab Corporation in the last year. I have more than this. It's just $5, but $5 to me is a lot. They've got me owing, and now then, they haven't credited me with anything, so I suppose they're going to tell me they didn't get them. So I'm going to show you at least 2 vouchers here where I did pay them. $5 May the 3rd and July the 6th. $5. Well, I think I just went out there, part of it, excuse me. Gets to be so hectic because I don't really have places to put things. I drag them around with me. Anyway, sorry my life is like this, but this is a record anyway for whatever good it does me. Now, here's United Health. And by no means do I want to criticize them. They have been really nice. That's all I can say right at the moment. But this is a bill that really, when I was in the doctor's office and they gave me this and told me to contact them because I owed them. Now then, they also told me to contact United Health because they might owe me. That was the word of the technician that she kind of made a mess of my arm. If I can get it up here, this is some days later and you can see it. First time it's been like that. But anyway, won't make anything out of that. The doctor's fine. I like her. I don't know what happened there. She gives me this and makes a mess out of my arm. Okay, United Health, I like. The problem is, she told me to call them. They might owe me money. I don't know how they would owe me money other than I had it for I don't know how long, almost a year, or if not a year, I believe. I had gotten it so I could have a dental, get my teeth worked on, and I wasn't able to do that. Not their fault. I just wasn't able to do it. because you have to have a, well, you know that on insurances, and then the doctor will want, dentist, when you go in, he'll want to, so I couldn't do it even though I was paying them for it. I was paying $27.80 on that. It was an extra to the United Complete. So evidently they didn't get this last payment. And the same thing happened. I paid it that I know, and I'm trying to find the other invoices. I didn't know I was going to have to go back and do this. This is $27.80 that I paid them on 7/5/18. Now then, evidently they haven't gotten any of I paid this at least 3 different times. Now then, I think why that the nurse that took the blood and gave me this lab thing bill said they might owe me is because I paid them the extra and wasn't able to use it. I don't know if that's what she's talking about or not. But this whole thing has been left, this bloody mess in my lap where nobody will touch it other than to hand me bills where I owe, had me walking on the side of the road begging people, living on the Appalachian Trail, and they've give my home, my everything, and done these horrific crimes, and it's unbelievable. And I watch people eat. I watch them live in homes, drive cars. Okay, and I'm footing it. Oh, I can't do that anymore. Okay, I wanted to show this. This is LOA, League of Older Americans. That's how I get my rides now. I pay them a little, $5.50 a ride. Okay, and I'm not going to go any further. It's the only rides I have. Now then, I deliberately, February the 2nd, I believe I'm right. It's hard to keep all this and go back and try to find it and hope I didn't throw it away, okay? Now, this was February the 2nd. I deliberately give them a $22 money order. And they told me they didn't get it. The thing was, I only owed for one ride, which was $5.50. I paid them $22 because I wanted to prepay and wouldn't owe at the end of the month, because I usually have to go to pick up medicine, or at least a couple times to pick up a little food, okay. So here they say they didn't get it. So thing is, they tell me that it didn't come to them, so they didn't receive it, is what they're saying. And so therefore they're not responsible, I am. So I have to reissue and pay it again. The same thing with this. If the check was stolen, it may have gone missing there, I don't know. But they're saying they didn't get it, therefore it's my fault. My responsibility to repay it. So if it's being stolen in the mail, like I know a couple of them had to have been, I paid it again right here. August the 3rd, I reissued the $22, which covered the ride that I owed for, and then I had 3 free ones, so I guess that's credited. And I hope they got it, because I'm going to tell you what happened. I went out. I was going to make sure I sit there, and I did for a couple of hours. He finally showed up, but evidently somebody sent a postal man that was supposed to make sure I got it to the right people. Whether it happens, I don't know. But I'm showing you here where I've double paid. Here where I don't know how many times, and United Health has been good to me. I can't say enough for them. So I don't know if it got taken, but I know at least 3, and to them for paying this bill. But now then, I don't know. It's paid 3 times, and at least. They either didn't get it, and by the way, I've sent the duplicate of this to LOA, and it doesn't matter. And in this, It's not like I have a checking account. There's a reason. Oh, God. Um, and as it is from being out at Scott Hill and breaking a lease because they were killing me, it's exactly it. I laugh to get through this hell. My voice is breaking, you can see. There's nothing funny about it. My God, what can you do to a human being? I wonder what they've done to my children. Anyway, I'm paying it twice, 3 times. She told me to call about that they may owe me. I'm going to call and see what that is. You know, if they do, and if. But there's some other that's happened like this, and so anyway, if you had a checking account, then I could stop payment. I can't get a checking account. Not going to. Wouldn't have anything in it the minute I put it in. So anyway, hello. This whole thing, I know how it sounds if you're listening to it. I understand it because I've lived it. Out at Scott Hill, I was out there 3 years ago, it turned out, and I've put this up, and out there twice, and they had me sign a lease for a month, which was shocking because HUD doesn't do that. So then they tried to say that no, when I left and I had all the photos of the black mole and all this and did the right thing, I can't get an attorney, or hey, I would sue if I could. Turned it over to the managing company, and they sent a girl out there that I think I gave all these photos to. I also put them up on Facebook and YouTube way back, okay? So they're not totally lost, I hope, because I'm going to show you who got my phone the first time, stole it. It was stolen about 2 weeks ago almost now, and brought back because they couldn't get into it, it's my understanding. Anyway, where am I? Out at Scott Hill. I hope I said Scott Hill. And that was the first time 3 years ago. By the way, what I'm going to show you here in a minute, Angela Queen, keep that in mind, okay? Was part of this getting me out there the first time to Scott Hill under the guise of doing all this is doing me a favor. Let me clue you, all this they would tell you what has happened. Law enforcement goes in and they get things on them. Everybody's got something to hide, and they'll do it as long as they think they're not held accountable. You got to get them into court under oath, and that's what I've been denied: any access to an attorney, legal aid warrant. And then on YouTube, most people on YouTube have been nice, so I don't mean thank you for that. But I got one that was very nasty and said, you know that you deny help, that there are agencies out there that would help you. Well, if that's so easy for someone to say, and it's very hard to take, and what I've been through, and okay, obviously she's saying I love to live in all this hell. No, I don't. And I'd like for her, this person that sent that, to live in it one moment and see how she liked it, okay? But anyway, I'm going to show you this in a minute. But she was the one that, before I went out to Scott Hill, which is connected with the patterns and getting to people, to your maintenance, to do things to me. And it gets absurd. They should all be locked up. It's assault and battery and everything. Now then, after I came back from Scott Hill, she was moved here from North Carolina. She was her home there, so her kids